Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maureen O'Connor from Quilter 7 in Northbrook, Illinois, and I am the Opinionated Quilter. Today's episode, number 131, is the Y seam, or as one of my employees like to say, the dreaded Y seam. It's not so bad. When I can avoid it, I do. When I can't, I just take my time, mark my 1/4 inch intersections. I'm going to show you how to do it. It's not too bad. Let's get to it. When do we use a Y seam? Well, we're approaching Christmas, so I have a couple of these log cabin Christmas tree skirts up to show you. In fact, they haven't been made into Christmas tree skirts yet. We do have a full episode on how to bind these, but I don't cut them until after they're quilted, and neither of these two are quilted. Here's a version that was made with 2-inch strips cut to finish to 1.5 inches, and I used 3 rounds of logs. And in this one, these were all the same. In this one over here, this is 2.5 inch cut to finish to 2. I only used 2 rounds of logs, and I changed, or I should say alternated, the color combos in the center. And you can do whatever you want. You don't necessarily need a pattern. If you know how to make a log cabin, you can make these. You simply start with your diamond and go around as you would in any kind of log cabin. Eleanor Burns has an excellent book on the diamond log cabin. And in her book, she uses 1.5 inch cut logs to finish to 1. As much as I like things smaller rather than bigger, that's a little too small for me. But she does have good patterns in here if you would like to follow a pattern. She also gives the excellent instructions on the Y seam. Now, like I said before, if I can avoid it, I do. Here's an example of 60-degree diamond shapes. And then here is what would be the outside diamond here on the log cabin. Let's see, maybe you can see probably this one the best, I think maybe. This is an outside diamond, outside diamond. And the way to avoid the Y seam is to make 2 triangles, where you put 1 triangle on the end of this diamond, 1 triangle on the end of this diamond, and then you no longer have a Y seam here. It's just a total straight seam. You can't do that on the diamond log cabin. Well, you could if you wanted to, but why would you want to have this cut in half? Cut in half and then sewn together. That would make no sense. So this is an example of where you would really want to do the Y seam. When you don't need the Y seam, you can always use Deb Tucker's Star 60 tool, and that will give you the measurements of both the diamonds and the triangles to get to the proper sizes for something like this. Now, we're going to go down to the table and I'm going to show you exactly how easy it is to do the Y seam. The first thing we need to do is put together 2 of the center diamonds. And the way you want to do that is you want to stop at 1/4 inch at the bottom. Here's the top, here's the center. So the third one will be over here, and then you'll have another set half with the other 3. You'll see as we go along. So the most important thing is marking where your stitching is going to need to stop. And I take a ruler that has a 1/4 inch mark on it, and I do not set my line on the fabric, because if I drew my line here now, it would be too far. It would be bigger than 1/4 inch. So I put my ruler line touching the edge of the fabric. It's on the white paper here. So now I'm going to make a mark, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And mark. Now I can see the black mark because it's on top of a red Christmas package. Be sure you use a marker you can see. If you were all on black and couldn't see it, you'd maybe want to use a white marker. This is a Clover water soluble that you just sharpen in a regular pencil sharpener. And this is a chalk wheel that's yellow that would also show. Whatever you have that you can see. So then you take these two pieces and sew your regular 1/4 inch down, but then you stop at your intersection here. And when I cut my threads on my machine, it does lock the stitches. If yours does not, take a little back stitch to hold it nice and tight. So once you've sewn this, you now have a piece that looks like this. Here's it sewn. It's stopped right here. And here's your piece. Now the next step is to put your outside diamond in here. And the way you want to do that here it is. Here's where we're going to sew it. So first, we're going to sew from here to here. And you can mark it again. And then I go ahead and pin. And the most important thing here is that these points meet. That the edge of this diamond, the red one, meets the edge of the Christmas print diamond. And then some people recommend you sew from here to here. Some people say sew from here to here and stop. I just do whatever I feel like at that point in time. Now, when I'm making these little candle mats, I need my center to come out perfectly. When I'm doing the Christmas tree skirts, you're going to cut out the center anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. So I want to be really super precise on these. But I'm going to sew either from here to here or here to here. And then what you're going to get is this. It's attached here, and then we need to sew this side, which is here. And again, we do the same thing. We sew from the center. You make sure that these meet. This edge of the Christmas tree fabric meets exactly this edge of the red fabric. And you sew either from here to here or reverse, whichever you like better. I find it easiest when you're doing the second side of this diamond that I fold this one like this and it's out of the way because you're always stopping at a 1/4 inch. So we sew this. And then you've got a piece that looks like that. So the next thing you need to do is sew another diamond onto the side of here. Actually, I shouldn't have said that. It goes here. So let me grab one and show you. So again, you do the same thing you've done before. You go ahead and mark here and sew this. And then you go ahead and put in the red piece here, same exactly as you did here. So now you're going to have something, I'm switching fabric on you, but you're going to have once this is sewn in, you're going to have a piece that looks like this. So now you have half. Remember, when it's 60-degree diamonds, you have to do 2 halves of 3. It's different when you have the 45-degree, which you then have 2 halves of 4. So here's 1 half. Then you make a second half. And you've got 2 of them. So now you sew these 2 halves together, stopping at the 1/4 inch each at the ends. Now this is what I was talking about before about not worrying about the center. Now I'm going to pin these centers to make sure they meet perfectly for my candle mats. Whereas for my Christmas tree skirt, I would stop here and start here and not even worry about this because it's all going to get cut out. So once you have this sewn from here to here, you then, can you guess what you're going to do? You're going to put these in exactly as you did these 4. And then you will have your completed candle mats. So once I get them all together, I would quilt them very simply. I would put on with a backing that I have 1 inch all the way around, and I would bring it up to the front and just sew it down, make it super simple. I'm planning on giving them all to my nieces and nephews for Christmas. And one niece has a friend who joins us on Christmas Eve who's Jewish, and so that's why I wanted to make this one for her. So that is the Y seam and how simple it can be. Let's get to the winner of the giveaway. The winner of the second bundle of batiks is Sarah Aldrich 8708. Congratulations. Please send me your mailing address info to quiltersheaveninc@gmail.com and I'll get your package out right away. This week's giveaway is a Christmas quilt or wall hanging, whatever you want to use it as. It's 32.5 wide by 54. It was a Moda pattern from using Moda fabric. And I usually say there's nothing wrong with the quilt. In this case, the pattern was followed, but I do want to point out, just in case you want to do a little work on this, all these letters are aligned left here. And most of them are about the same wide except for the I. If I were going to do this, I would take this off and move it a little bit more to the center. Of course, you don't have to. When you win it, it's your quilt. I just want to point that out to you. But it is very nice colors. I love the gray and the red. I think it looks really nice. Fun, cute wall hanging. So if you'd like to win it, please comment, subscribe, and like this video. And in your comment, write Christmas quilt, and you will be entered to win. That's today's episode. Oh, I forgot one thing. I wanted to show you the latest of the log cabin Christmas tree skirts that I was making. I wanted to make something that was a little bit more fun than these that I'd kind of call more elegant. And this is what I have. So I'm really pleased. I think someone will really like this one in my family. I wanted to give them for wedding gifts, but nobody's getting married, so they're going to have to be Christmas gifts. But anyway, that's my latest log cabin Christmas tree skirt. So now, that's today's episode. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, happy sewing.